Hey, Heather.
Hey, Steven.
You know what we should do?
What should we do?
You know what we should do.
Ooh, say it.
We should get into it.
Are we doing Halloween movies, scary movies? What do you want to say?
Halloween movies.
Halloween movies. Okay, cool. Eyes ready.
I thought I was going to burp. That's Heather.
That's Steven.
Let's get into
Halloween movies. Ooh.
Spooky. Wait, we shouldn't use the word spooky anymore because
Boo.
that has bad connotation. Oh my God, Aiden's
I
in.
can say
Boo.
it.
You can.
Boo.
A boo. A boo.
Oh my God. Oh, a boo. Oh, a booed.
A boo.
A boo.
Oh. And now I know what your Halloween costume is.
Oh my God, y'all, we are so sorry. It has been a minute because, my God, life has been lifing.
Life has been lifing, and it's been lifing hard.
God damn. Steven. So typically we ask, how's your week? But I feel like it's been a whole ass lifetime since we last recorded
Even
together.
though we just posted the last episode last week.
We
It has
sure
been a
did.
minute.
Yes. Steven, how's your 2 weeks been?
Unbearable for some of it.
Yes.
I ended up with a respiratory infection on my upper half of my body that I am now on my second set of meds for.
Jesus.
Which I'm finally starting to see a little bit of relief.
Yay.
So, the fact that you cannot hear me wheezing, or you shouldn't be able to hear me wheezing right now, is a godsend. I have been hacking up a lung, and you know what really sucks is when you're coughing so hard, but it's not a productive cough.
Oh, that's the
There's
worst.
nothing to show for it.
Worst.
So now I have like some stuff that's like helping clean it, and I know this is an overshare, guys, and I'm so sorry. But on top of that as well, I have been preparing for a move.
Oh, that's right. This is our last
This
podcast
is
in this
in
lovely
here.
room in the
That
studio.
means I have to buy a couch.
Oh,
I
I'm gonna
know.
miss these walls.
Well, you know what?
Is this gonna be fire and brimstone?
Maybe.
Ouch! Ow! Ooh, it's so hot. It's
So
not.
yes, after living in here for a little over 15
Oh my
years,
God,
I
that's
am moving out on my
wild.
own, and I'm very excited. I can't wait. I found a beautiful little place, and it's taken forever to be approved through the company and also the HOA, which is
That's so annoying. I hate it.
but it's happening, and I want to help me pack after this.
I have to wash
Looking
my
around
hair.
the room.
I have to wash my hair. I'm sorry, but I may be free this weekend, so we shall see.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I'm working, so I'll tell you where to move things.
Well, we tried. We
This is
tried.
yes. So let's just say I'm very excited for Halloween season to be over.
Oh
let's
my
just
God,
say
I
that.
bet. I bet.
Oh yeah, another thing that just happened too is on top
Yeah.
of that we had our kids student showcase at my studio,
Oh.
and we had our auditions for Beetlejuice Jr.
How'd the auditions
which-
go?
Insane! Like there were some really good kids that came out, and like
Oh.
in other musicals, we get like 12. You know,
Mhm.
like when we did Seussical, I think we got like 13 auditions.
Yeah.
We got 38.
Oh my God, that's a lot.
So we're like, okay, where do we put these?
Because
kids?
how many are in the cast? It's not a
Oh, I
huge
didn't even
cast,
count.
right?
It's not a huge cast, but there
Yeah.
is a large potential for a large ensemble.
Ensemble, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, like the dead people.
like the cheerleaders. And
Oh,
things like
yeah,
that.
yeah. The football is the football team in the musical?
I don't know if it's in the junior one.
Okay.
I did
I'm
finish
not
reading the
familiar
script.
with the musical besides the numbers we did at Mary's, so I don't know what character. I know kind of what characters are in it, but like I've seen the movie a
Hi,
million times.
my name is Sky.
Oh my God. Do you know that song still pops up in my Spotify as my most listened to song of all time because it's a hard song to learn. So I had to listen to it for Mary. So listeners, we at Hamburger Mary's, we used to do a number that was the Girl Scout song from Beetlejuice, and it went into Addams Family.
Yeah.
And so I was the Girl Scout, and it's so clean and spotlit that you can't fuck up the words. So I listened to that song over and over and over again for like a week straight, where now Spotify thinks it's like my favorite song of all time. And I'm like, God damn it, no! Where's Megan Thee Stallion?
So how was
Oh,
your
man.
week or 2 weeks?
Oh,
or
Jesus Lord.
Your infection.
Yeah, so I was also under the weather. I had a sinus infection. Thought it was COVID, but it wasn't.
Thank God.
I did 2 shows with said sinus infection, and my vocal cords held up. It was all like in my nose.
Can I be thankful that I had to call Heather and ask her to cover for one of my shows?
Sure did.
Because I was here it is.
Oh God, he's dying.
I was dying, and I was like, I can't do this. Can you?
Yeah.
And I did not realize at the time that I sent this poor child out sick an hour away.
And
too.
I mean, like that Saturday, like I was okay. And then I was at Esteban's on Sunday, and that's when it really started to kind of go downhill. And now a week or so later, I'm at that point where there's still all this like gunk in my body. But we were talking about productiveness, and I'm at that phase where you have that productive nose blow like once an hour where you can feel your brain release. And it's like the best. It's like the most satisfying. Like it scratches my brain in the best way where I'm like, yeah, get it out. So there's that. Took my nephew to Halloween Horror Nights for the first time. He's 9 years old. And he did so good in the houses. Like he covered his ears a lot because it was so loud. And I was like, I get that, buddy. Yeah. But for a 9-year-old, he did all 10 houses. None of them freaked him out. Like the Goblin one, for some reason, like freaked him out a little bit, like, which is surprising because the Goblin house is not scary to me. Insidious. That first run we did of Insidious was terrifying. That was where like all the characters came out and I was like, I'm not ready. But he did good, and I won tickets to see Sabrina Carpenter.
Oh, that's right.
So last Thursday I saw Miss Sabrina Carpenter. She had an opening act named Griff, and so my coworker Sarah, we went to Halloween Horror Nights the Thursday. Actually, it was literally like a week apart. So we went to Halloween Horror Nights with CJ and Michael and that whole gang. And Sarah was telling me, I was telling her about how I wanted to go to Sabrina Carpenter. And she's like, oh my God, I want to go too. Griff is opening. I'm obsessed with Griff. So I made a vow. I was like, if I win this radio contest, I'll take you. And so I won. So I took her. And Griff was so good. She's like half black, half Asian.
Oh, it's a girl.
Yes, with a guitar. She was so good.
Huh.
And then Sabrina Carpenter is just, oh my God, like
Her
live
espresso.
vocals. So we actually left before espresso because I did not want to deal. It was sold out. It was like 20,000 people. So I did not want to deal
So you didn't
with
even
the crowd.
finish.
No, I was fine. I was good. I saw the songs. I saw her do Juno, Bedchem, Good Graces. Those are songs I wanted to hear.
Oh, man.
So we were like, we're leaving before espresso and sure enough, as I was leaving, I could see the wave of people. And I was like, thank you, Jesus, that we left when we did.
It was at the Kia Center.
Kia Center, which will still be Amway to me.
Yeah.
But
same.
let me tell you something. There were so many little girls in lingerie at this concert with their parents.
No!
It was so awkward. Like the little, like, what Sabrina wears. And these are like teenagers. And so I had Sarah, my coworker, on one side who is in her 30s. And then on the other side of me, there were these two girls. And at one point I asked them, this is like double wine number 2. I was like, how old are you guys? And they're like, we're 15. And I was like, at that
How many
concert,
kids do you have?
right at that concert, I absolutely felt like that Steve Buscemi meme where it's like, hello, fellow kids. I love Sabrina Carpenter is for adult. Like she has like literally
Music is for everybody, no matter what age.
it is,
Let's
but
be
I mean,
honest.
this girl has a song where she goes, I'm so fucking horny. And these little girls next to me are singing it. And at one point I looked at them and I was like, you don't know anything about this. They're like, we love her. Because she has a song called Bedchem.
Oh my.
Where one of the
that's right,
lyrics,
yeah.
one of the lyrics is come right on me. I mean camaraderie. And I'm like, these little babies,
Does that mean it's a group effort if it's camaraderie and coming on her? It's like a bukkake?
where art thou? Why not upon me? Sure.
I guess so.
But I will tell you what, her set, the production, top notch. She did it like a 70s TV show, and the set looked like a Polly Pocket dollhouse. It was so cool. She even had a toilet. Like at one point, she's like, I gotta pee. And she goes up on stage and she has a heart-shaped toilet. And so she sat and sang one of her songs. It was such a great, like.
Did she really pee? Could you imagine? That's like, that's
Oh my
her
God.
Fergie break.
I feel like something else happened during the 2 weeks and I can't remember. But yeah, that's that. Sabrina Carpenter, Sinus Infection, and Halloween Horror Nights. That's been, yeah.
But we're here.
We're
made it,
here.
and we're ready to talk about movies. So
And it's Halloween season,
it
y'all.
is Halloween season. In fact, this is going to post the day after Halloween. So, did you have a good Halloween?
Did you? Where were you?
I'll
What'd
be
you dress up as?
packing.
The older I get, the less I care about Halloween. Like I will not be, there'll be no candy this year. I'm going to turn out my lights.
Can I tell you, I has been, even as a performer, gung-ho about Halloween for years.
Uh-huh.
And Parliament House broke me.
I can understand that. Yeah.
Like, because being a former footlight player for 5.5 years, almost 6 Halloweens.
Yeah, that's a lot.
We did a lot of Halloween productions. I had to have a lot of different costumes.
Yeah.
And then the nonsense of having to deal with the costume contest was enough for me to go
Oh my God, I bet.
loco on my own, because Parliament House used to give out,
Bless you.
like ridiculous amounts of money for these contests.
So like
And so we
thousands.
people would spend all this money to make these incredible costumes, and then it would be my job to help them onto the stage or off to the stage,
Oh God.
and not fall. And those stages were like, or those stairs were like straight up and down. People, regular shoes would fall down those stairs on a regular basis. And I'm like, yeah, let me catch the stilt walker. Why did you have to fucking wear stilts? Or why are you the guy who is like the whole ass lion, or the guy who, remember the guy who went hunting for the lion years ago?
Oh, the dentist.
Somebody
yeah,
made a Jeep, dressed up as a lion, and put the dentist on the front of the car.
Oh my God. Yeah, I just, like Mikey, like he'll go trick or treating. I don't know if the baby's gonna have a costume or not, but like
The baby's gonna be a pumpkin.
oh my God, a little nugget. He laughed at me for the first time this weekend, and it made me so happy. But I don't know, like maybe if I had kids it'd be different, but I don't have the desire. Like I went to Lake Ridge Winery because Georgia was in town, and so we went to Lake Ridge on Sunday. And this beautiful like Brazilian woman was working in the winery, and she was like, "Oh, did you guys go out for Halloween last night?" And we're both like, "No." And she's like, "I went to downtown Orlando," and she was definitely in her like early 50s. She's like, "I went downtown Orlando to Wall Street," and I'm like, I literally would take jury duty or a root canal over going to church. Like Wall Street.
I thought they were
on
trying
Halloween.
to tone down downtown.
They are, but like for holidays and shit, it's still the same. But like,
gross.
a night, like, and just the thought, especially being a performer and having to wear costumes on stage and stuff. I don't want to do it for fun on a holiday. And Halloween costumes are so expensive for no reason.
See, that's why you have to make your own.
That's like that box of wine I have. I only paid like $30 for it, the one I wore last year. And man, I'm going to use that costume. I don't know when because I ain't dressing up this year. But yeah, no. And yesterday or the day before yesterday, I came home from somewhere and like where we live, we're on a corner lot, and sometimes they'll put neighborhood signs there. So and typically they don't, because I give them the evil eye and then they never come back. But this guy was a new guy, and I see him hammering a sign, and I was taking out the trash, and I was like, "Hi, what sign are you putting up now?" And he was like, "Oh, it's for trick-or-treating for the neighborhood." I'm like, why in my yard?
Put it across the street.
I'm almost tempted to like uproot it and like just
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Let the kids have their candy. It'll be fine. Just turn off
I
your
was
lights.
gonna say I'm just gonna turn off the light, or I do have cat puree treats that Mama doesn't like. I'll just give him cat treats.
I mean, honestly, if I went trick-or-treating and you gave me something for my dog, that would make me very happy.
As an adult, but can you imagine kids getting like
Do kids not love their pets?
tuna puree?
Oh my God. Well, maybe.
I should just put it in a bowl.
Why don't you put out like a bowl of canned goods and say, please take one?
I saw somebody post a picture. I'm pretty sure it was fake, but it was like a bowl of corn chowder.
Yeah, one scoop.
One scoop. I'm just going to take all the shit that's in our pantry, like just bars and cat treats and rice.
Oh my God.
Like
Oh,
here.
condiment packages. Everybody has an abundance of condiment packages.
I have some strawberries that are starting to get fuzz on them. I'll just leave those out.
Oh,
Kids are tough.
those
Kids are tough. It's
Yeah.
penicillin. It's mold.
I mean, anyway.
Oh, and I got a new refrigerator. Thank you for those who donated.
And those, if
got a
you
new
missed
fridge.
out, she had a funeral.
I had a
for
whole memorial
the-
service for my fridge.
for the fridge, where she dressed in black and sang songs in front
Sad
of her
songs,
fridge.
yeah.
And the funniest thing is ever was watching her come out looking longfully at the refrigerator, putting her hand up and going,
with Mama.
With the
Mama's
cat.
like, get out of here. So anyway, that's
So-
life's been life and
Sorry.
Oh, ooh.
We're not going to try to have a whole bunch of those for this, because I'm not going to go through and edit them out either, because it would take me days. Anyway, Heather, let's talk about some old school original movies that are like ones that you would think of being a classic.
Okay.
Is there anything that comes to your mind that you were like, oh, well, this clearly always has to be watched during Halloween. This is a classic.
In my house growing up, Halloween movies, it was always The Great Pumpkin. It's The Great Pumpkin. Charlie Brown was a big one in my house. when my brother and I were kids, we were obsessed with Ernest's
Scared
Halloween
Stupid.
movie.
No,
Scared
Ernest
Stupid.
Scared Stupid. It's on my list to talk about.
We will. Okay, so
No,
we'll put a
can
pin
talk
in
about
it.
it
Okay,
now.
yeah, we were obsessed with that movie. Like the opening sequence was so funny to us, and the trolls.
The
so
trolls actually legit made me nervous as a child. The way that they were like little fuzzy egg
Yes.
things in the base of the tree and then would come out. I'm like, oh, fuck.
So that was like a big one growing up. But then I'm trying to think any other movies. There was a trilogy movies, House. So like House 1, House 2. For some reason, they skipped 3 and it just went straight to House 4.
There's a lawsuit. That's why.
And House 4 is the reason why I don't trust garbage disposals, because there's a scene where they put pizza down the garbage disposal and then it like comes to life. And
Oh,
so
God. Not the pizza.
anytime I see a garbage disposal, I think of that movie, and I'm like, I had to put my hand down my garbage disposal the other day because something fell down it, and I'm like, oh my God, it's gonna come to life.
Ma'am, you shouldn't have done that.
Why? The switch was far away.
You don't know what kind of ghost is in your house going, I'm gonna get you, bitch.
And I did think about that. I was like, what if Jason comes home and turns it on, and even though he's at work, he's not.
Or mama just happens to chase a fly right next to it.
Okay, so for a second, a mama story that has nothing to do with Halloween. So this damn cat. So my cat, for those who, I'm sure everybody knows that, my cat was a stray, and now she is a fully indoor cat. She does not like to go outside. Like even the patio now, the screen and patio, she's like, nope. So yesterday, I'm sitting on the patio enjoying the beautiful weather, and a lizard is on my patio, and I was like, oh, good, that mama can get the lizard. So I literally opened the door. I'm like, mama, come here. So she trots over. I'm like, look, and I point at the lizard, and she literally just sits at the door.
He goes, uh-huh.
So I was like, God damn it. So I had to pick her up, and she's like, meow. So I picked her up and placed her right by the lizard, and she chased it, played with it, and then she just went back inside.
She did her exercise. She goes, Mom, I got my steps in. I'm going back inside now.
Yeah, so she did not do well with, I was like, you're supposed to protect me from these lizards, and she failed the test. But it's okay because she's cute. And it's National Cat Day today.
It is National Happy National Cat Day.
But anyway, old school ones. The first horror movie I saw that I can recall was Pet Sematary, which we'll get into later, I'm sure. That was the first horror movie. And my mom is a big horror fan. My mom's a huge Stephen King fan, so horror was very prevalent in our house growing up. Like I remember seeing It, the TV movie. That was like a family watching thing.
So that's a core memory for me too, because
the TV one, Tim Curry.
The TV, I also like the remake.
I
as well.
love the new ones.
But the new one, I thought, okay, this is funny. I really enjoyed it. But the other one, I was like, okay, I grew up in a small town.
Yeah,
we had those little pipe things that you could look at. I was like, okay, here we go. I'm fucking dying.
So, question for you: the kid that was killed in the first movie, when you were a kid growing up in Mississippi, if you had been playing with your friends or doing whatever, and you walked, let's say you had a sailboat like the little boy, and it went down the drain, would you have tried to get it and then proceeded to have an entire conversation with a clown in the drain?
We didn't have drains like that. We had ditches.
So if you had seen a clown in a ditch with your sailboat, would you have engaged in conversation with that clown?
I probably would have noped myself out of there.
Me too!
I would have been like, first of all, you were in the ground.
No.
Like, no. Okay, so we had this thing. All right, so not a big town, whatever. Down the street, there was like this, we called it the path or the trail.
Okay.
Like through the woods.
Yeah.
And then you go through and there was like this little house there. And we thought, oh, wow, this is like a house in the woods.
God.
It wasn't in the woods. It just backed up to something else we couldn't see. But there was like at one point like a cauldron-y type bowl thing out there. People tried to convince me that like a witch lived there. And so for the longest time, I was like, oh, we can't anger that witch.
Oh, my God.
I was running past it and like, no, we can't.
Yeah,
riding my bike as fast as I can.
If I had lost my sailboat, and especially it was a fucking paper sailboat. It's not like you paid $3,000. It's not like it's a real one or a model one. If it had been a toy, I would have been very upset. But like a paper one, I would have been like, well, guess I'm making another one. And then I would have moved on. And that's also, that. But to engage in a whole conversation with a sewer clown, I'm sorry, you deserve to get your arm pulled off.
Sewer clown.
That's what he was. Why are you talking to him? Like why?
Maybe he was lonely. I mean, his brother was neglecting him.
Yeah, no.
But
not for me. So what about you? What are some classic?
I always think of the ones like classic Poltergeist, Halloween, The Exorcist. Mm-hmm. One for me that I really liked as a kid and also enjoyed the remake later on, Witches.
The
one where the boys get turned into Angelica Houston.
Wait, there's a remake?
There's a remake, I believe.
I don't think so.
I think there is.
Oh.
Do you want to look it up? Well,
yeah, let's see.
Because my devices are all in use right now, but I'm pretty sure there was a remake. And I remember going, oh, wow, this is great.
The Witches. Let's see, 19. Oh, with Anne Hathaway.
Yes, I knew I wasn't dreaming.
I've never seen it because I cannot stand Anne Hathaway.
Oh my God, I love Anne Hathaway.
I can't. Her and Anna Kendrick can go to hell.
Why do you hate people named Anne?
The two of them annoy the I don't know. There's just something about them where I'm like, I do not want to watch anything. I've never seen The Devil Wears Prada. I've never seen Princess Diaries. I've never seen Pitch Perfect because I can't look at their faces. I hate, they just rub me. They seem like the type of girls where you would correct them for some sort of racially biased language and they would cry and say you're a bully. They give me that energy.
No. First of all, both of them are big advocates for.
Oh, I know,
like
but yeah.
Anne Hathaway, or not Anne Hathaway, Anna Kendrick. I first watched her in the movie called Camp.
Oh, so the other day I was talking to somebody about how I can't stand Anna Kendrick, and they were like, "You obviously have never seen Camp before," and I was like, "I have not."
Did they pull up the scene for you?
No.
Okay, so basically, there's this queen bee of the thing, and she's trying to suck up to her, but then she disses her, so she decides to basically poison her with wool light. She makes her drink it, so she's throwing up on stage. And then so the guest director or whatever's there, she comes running up on the wings dressed as the main character that the girl is vomiting, and it's here's to the ladies who lunch. And then they were the director was like, oh my God, you did this to her, you little. She's like, wait, or careful or something. She's like, and besides, she's fucked. I'm ready. And the goddamn show must go on. Shall we? She gets up on stage, pushes her out, and starts, everybody rise, as this crazy person. I'll have to show it for you. It is brilliant.
Oh, God. But yeah, no, I have, I can't do it.
And then a lot of ones, because when I was in high school, our thing was to go to the local VHS store, wherever whether it be Blockbuster or Windsock. Windsock, like a airplane sock thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then we would get terrible horror movies. That's where I first discovered Sleepaway Camp 1, 2, and 3. Have you seen those?
No, but you've told me about how cheesy they are.
Oh, cheesy and great and amazing and just ridiculous.
That's kind of how House is. So the House movies, the trilogy, the house itself is haunted and it just progressively gets stupider. House 4 is the dumbest. Like I said, pizza in the garbage disposal and the pizza has a fate. It's so
I think you showed me that. And the more I'm thinking about it.
We talked about it, I think, on Champagne. I think I made Casey watch. I made somebody watch it. Yes, maybe.
I remember having to put it on the artwork for
Instagram. But then I also love old school ones, Psycho is one that I've always loved. The old school thrillers. And you know what I just watched the other day for the first time ever was Misery. I had never seen Misery.
Misery's so good.
I'd never seen it. It was delightful. It's a horror movie. But I don't know how I had never seen it because, again, my mom's obsessed with Stephen King. So I remember seeing her watch it and I just never had a desire to. But I watched it 2 or 3 weeks ago. And it was, I put my phone down. It was.
If she put down her phone, that says something, ladies and gentlemen.
But I also oh God. I mean, it also gave me hives because that's my worst nightmare is to be trapped in a situation like that where you can't do anything.
I saw recently earlier, there was okay, if they tried to remake Misery now, and it'd be no, please don't cook all my meals.
Oh, I saw that. Don't give me a free place to stay.
Oh, not a free place to live. And she's yeah, that would be me. I'd be no, I'll totally live here with you.
Oh my God. But no, I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I was sad that I had just now seen it. I feel I talked about Pet Sematary.
Other ones that I loved as a kid, Evil Dead.
Okay.
The whole trilogy. Have you seen that? Or saw the musical?
Mm-mm.
Ginger did the musical at Theater Downtown.
Oh, I feel like I remember that, yeah.
So good.
Was Adam in it, McCabe?
Probably.
I think so.
I think
okay.
that's before I knew him, though.
Okay, yeah.
And then, those movies are just also super cheapy. And that's what we watched those in high school as well.
Yeah,
the same thing. Where, there's tree branches fondling a girl. And,
God.
A thing and a hand and a chainsaw. And it's nonsense. But again, it's that funny nonsense to me. Where I'm just cackling at the absurdity or the effects of it. I was
yeah.
The Craft.
Oh, I haven't seen The Craft in forever.
That was one that I don't know if it's necessarily like a Halloween movie, but it's like
kind
a
of
spooky witch movie.
It's kind of like in the same vein as like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, like the original movie, which
That is on my list as well.
Like there were so many movies that I watched as a kid that I should not have been watching, but I think my mom knew that I was kind of like strong in my ways, so she knew that I wasn't going to be like influenced by them. But that movie, I was upset because we talked about the yeah. I had it on VHS and would watch it religiously. I loved that movie.
I will take it one further than you, and then me and my little friend across the street would go around the neighborhood rolling on the ground, throwing sticks at trees, pretending we were killing vampires. And to this day, I still recite, how funky is your chicken?
How funky is your chicken? How loose is your goose? Our goose is totally loose. So come on, all you hog fans. So come on, all you hog fans. And shake your caboose. And shake your caboose.
And people look at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, that is basically the national anthem.
It really is. Please rise.
Like,
please rise for the national anthem.
But that was iconic.
I love that movie.
Yes, I never got into the series though.
No, me neither.
At all.
My mom did, and Angel. I never got into the series because it was a different, like.
It was a different energy. It was a different.
It was serious.
Take. Yeah.
Where the movie was camp. Like it was very camp horror, almost kind of like a throwback to like 50s B movies. Like it was very campy. And I remember when they announced the TV show, I was like, oh, okay. I was a teenager.
I was excited.
And then I was like, oh,
then
wait, this is serious. I want it to be fun. Where's blonde ditzy Buffy? But
I know.
Yeah, that was the whole point.
My favorite, the vapid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then
I need to rewatch it. It's been a while.
It's been a while. But when she tears off the bottom of her skirt and puts on the leather jacket,
yeah,
I was like, bitch.
And Luke Perry. Oh, I forgot Luke Perry was in it.
Luke Perry was in it.
And Pee Wee Herman. He was the vamp.
Paul Rubens.
Yes.
Now, outside of classics, there's like family-friendly ones that we all watched growing up, kind of like The Great Pumpkin.
Yeah.
Like Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
Did you have any other that you were like, okay, me and my family have to watch this every year?
Oh, man. I already talked about Ernest. The Great Pumpkin. I feel like there was something. Casper was
Tell
one.
Me what that is on the list right here.
That was a big one when I was a kid. I loved Casper, and then I also like this. Remember, like when we were kids, they would show like the old cartoons. Now you don't really see them as much anymore. Like you don't turn
like the old one, like with the Casper with the Chili Willy version, the Woody Woodpecker version.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So like I would watch that Casper too. Trying to think what else. I mean, like I grew up like. I was around kids stuff. Like we'd watch Sesame Street and stuff, but I also grew up in a house where my parents were like, yes, they're kids, but we're going to expose them to adult things so they're prepared for the real world.
Which in hindsight probably wasn't the best thing to do, Dad, Mom.
But no, we didn't. God, I'm trying to think. The Twilight Zone movie. Have you ever seen the Twilight Zone movie?
I think so.
Okay, so the Twilight Zone movie is because I have a Twilight Zone tattoo. I love the Twilight Zone. Probably my favorite TV show of all time. It's so good and still holds up like 60 years later.
It's almost as old as us.
Hey, so they had a movie in the 80s where they took 4 of the most popular Twilight Zone episodes and turned them into segments within a movie. And so the movie though is infamous because in one of the segments they're all based on episodes that really happened. There's a segment where this really racist guy is in a bar with his friends and he's talking shit about black people, Asian people, Jewish people, all this stuff. So he goes to leave the bar and all of a sudden he's in Nazi Germany and he's being chased by Nazis and being taken to a concentration camp.
Darn.
Right. And then after that, he is in the South as a black man being chased by the KKK, and then he's somewhere else. But so the reason why this movie is so infamous is because there is a scene in Vietnam where he was like running from Americans, blah, blah, blah.
Somebody died for real.
He did die. The main guy died, and so did 2 kids because they wanted to do a helicopter stunt, and the helicopter crashed on them and decapitated them. And so it was like a whole lot. There's podcasts about it. There's books about it. It was a whole lawsuit, and it changed child labor laws for entertainment because the kids were working under the table, long hours, and then they were killed. It's not funny, but yes, I laughed.
She laughs.
I'm sorry. But the director, John Landis, who directed Thriller and American Werewolf in Paris, London, he went to trial for it, and he's always been so nonchalant about it. And like he showed up at the funeral, like, so that movie has, and I showed it to Jason for the first time a couple weeks ago. So after we watched that segment, I hit pause and I was like, all right, let me tell you about this segment.
Oh, well, you just ruined that whole moment for him.
I know. He was like, what? So that was a family, but it's also not taking out the horrible shit that happened. It's like the Twilight Zone. It's not nightmare scary, but in one of the segments, there's puppets and they're terrifying. I'll have to find a picture. But that's a childhood one. So like, I can't, besides that, like, were there any Halloween? I'm trying to think Halloween specials. Yeah,
like
that was pretty much
Halloween
it.
Town or...
No, I never watched Halloween.
I love the Halloween specials, like the Scooby-Doo Boo School, where Scooby and Shaggy went to...
See, look, there's a scene where they pull a rabbit out of a hat, and that's one of the rabbit puppets.
Oh, yeah. I've seen that.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
I hate it. Okay.
I forgot I hadn't seen that.
What about you? What were your childhood faves?
So my nickname growing up was Casper. Somebody gave it to me in like...
Because of your delicious tan.
Yes, because my lack of my delicious tan. And it stuck all the way through my college program a little bit here.
Oh my God.
And there's still people back home who still call me Casper. Which is crazy town. Like, I almost got a Casper tattoo on the top of my back, the little cartoon.
Oh, I'm so glad you didn't.
Me too. Could you imagine?
It would look like shit now.
Oh my God, it would be whiter than me. It would be the same color.
I got lucky. This Phoenix was my first tattoo. I got this tattoo, I think, in like 2004, 2005, and it's still, because I knew writing would hold up. If it was a design, it would be all spread. And I'm terrified what's going to happen to the rest, but whatever. Yeah. YOLO.
So
anyway,
tell everybody why you have a Phoenix tattoo.
So I got this tattoo after I saw Walk the Line in the movie theaters because I was so obsessed with Joaquin Phoenix, and I was stupid, but I was like, all right, if I get this, for me it'll mean Joaquin Phoenix, but it also can mean like rise from the ashes, whatever. And then when I met Jason, he has a actual Phoenix tattooed on him. So I still do kind of want to get this covered up and turn it into a whole arm thing. But like, I feel bad because it's like me and Jason, one of our first connections was Phoenix, like, ooh. So I'm stuck with it, but it's not terrible.
It's funny.
Yes.
Okay. This is not exactly a family movie, but this is something I want to talk about because I think it's utterly fucked up.
Oh God.
And your nephew loves it.
Yes.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
This is a video game and like also a movie and like a whole...
It's a whole thing. It's a whole franchise. Yeah.
A franchise. And then I finally watched the movie and I'm like, why are kids playing a game like this? Have you seen the movie?
I've seen the movie. And so I played the game before the movie. So Mikey had told me about the game when he was like 4. He was little and he was like, Auntie.
Being very young.
And so I tried it and I was like, this is terrifying because it's like you are in this place and you have to move through the dark. It's really scary. So yes, I did watch the movie and the movie was good. I enjoyed it.
The movie was good.
I enjoyed it.
The fucked upness about being all the dead kids in those things. Like, why do kids like this? Why? And then you have Shaggy, whatever his name is.
Oh, Matthew Lillard.
Yes,
yeah.
going around being like, I'm your daddy now,
yeah,
or
weird.
whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, why are kids playing a video game like this? Why? Why?
Really quick.
What happened to Paperboy?
Oh my God. So really quick side note. So last Sunday, the 20th was Mikey's birthday. And so we went to Desertland for his birthday. Have you been to Desertland since it's become Desertland?
I have not.
Steven, we are going one night after work.
That's like a big Trump supporters place though.
Ew, is it?
Yeah, it is.
How do you know?
Because somebody told me.
Ew. So they've got a cute little bar in there, but otherwise it is the most random. So it's just like cars everywhere. They do have a really cute arcade in the middle. There's a jump park, all this stuff. There's a wrestling store, which is so random. But the whole time I was there, I'm like, this would be such a great drunken place for Steven and I to go. And they don't have the little scooter
The
animals
animals
anymore.
anymore?
No. But the arcade is fun. And it was funny because they had like a shooting game with a rifle. And my mom was like, let's play arcade games. Like, all right. So I was like, oh, shooting gallery. And my mom with the rifle was just like, oh, and not getting anything. But my
And you
first
were like
ex,
Rihanna.
my first ex taught me how to shoot. So I put that thing on my shoulder and I was like, pa! And I got every single one of those fuckers.
Oh
Don't
my
fuck
God.
with me.
I do love a good shooting game when
Yes.
I have the gun. Don't give me a controller to
So
control that
we
gun.
need to get, well, they support you.
I mean, we'll look it up and confirm,
Yeah.
but I'm fairly certain.
Ew.
But we can find another arcade.
Yeah, we
that
can.
Is friendly.
Arcade Monsters, they opened one up on iDrive. I know there's one in Oviedo, but they just opened one on iDrive.
Ooh,
Mhm.
maybe we should. Where on iDrive?
I don't know. I know I can't stand iDrive. It's the worst.
Because there's that big amusement place on iDrive as well with like the race cars and shit. It's a giant building that if you were going down Universal Boulevard towards Ginger's place,
Andretti. Yeah,
But
yeah,
there's
yeah.
like a whole giant arcade there too. So maybe
okay.
we'll have to check that out.
Yes. Anyway.
Anyway, another one that's we watched a lot was Nightmare Before Christmas, even though it technically is a Halloween / Christmas movie.
So
You don't like claymation.
I've never seen
You've
it.
never seen it?
Mm.
Oh my god.
I can't. It's too creepy. I don't like it.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I don't like
it.
yeah.
It definitely is not as friendly as other claymation, and
Yeah.
it definitely makes you squirm a little because there are long
I don't like it.
arms and the things and the.
I've never had a desire, and like people lose their fucking minds over that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Like
People
whole things.
are obsessed, and I get it.
Yeah.
I did not know until recently that the voice of what's her name?
Catherine O'Hara.
Catherine O'Hara
Yep.
did what's her face's voice?
Sally.
Sally.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, look
Yeah.
at you.
I've just never had,
She
and
does all the holidays.
I've never had a desire to watch it. Like,
Why? Because you're afraid that you wouldn't sleep for a week if you did.
yeah.
Speaking of things, I think this is a perfect segue.
Yes.
Movies that fucked us up.
You know what my number one is.
Zelda from
Zelda.
Pet Sematary.
Absolutely. So let me tell y'all, dear listeners / viewers. So I saw Pet Sematary for the first time probably when I was 3rd or 4th grade. Because again, mom, Stephen King. And she had it on.
Thanks, Mom.
And my brother and I were like, we want to watch it. And she's like, all right, cool. You can watch it, but you ain't sleeping in the bed. Like, you got to sleep in your bed tonight. We're like, all right. So
That was a lie.
it's scary from start. Have you ever seen Pet Sematary?
Yeah.
Okay. So you've got the guy with like the fucked up head, the runner, like you've got that. And I was like, ooh, okay, that's rough. Fucking Zelda. Let me tell you. Like, and by the way, side note, have you watched American Horror Stories, this newest iteration
No, wait.
with like Leprechaun and all
No,
the clone?
okay, so we're going to have to look at that because I go to the newest season and it's the one I talked about.
Yes, because so the new season, the 3rd season, whatever, it's split into 2 parts. They did the first half last year.
Oh.
And they did the
season
second
3
half
split in
this year,
half.
which makes
Okay.
no sense.
No.
But this second half
They
this
ran out of
year,
money.
fucking spectacular.
Hmm.
Every single one is so good. I was stunned. I was like, this is like, it's like Black Mirror. Like, it was so good. But in one of there's a lady who is just it's so creepy.
If you vomit on the
No.
I'm moving out in 2 days. it's
So
fine.
in one of the episodes, I won't spoil which one it is, but this lady is one of the main characters, and she's kind of like the bent neck lady, and so the whole time she's just
For those who are just listening,
her mouth
Heather's
is just
holding
open.
her. You know that meme where the gay guy opens his mouth shocked really big?
Yes. Oh yeah, that's what it looked like.
That's what it looked
But
like.
that's how this lady is. Like, she never has a line. She never talks. She's just like
Tay in the wind.
So
Tay in the wind.
no. It's so, because when you told, so I've seen that episode you talked about where you texted me, we're like,
The girl.
yeah, no, this chick with the open mouth makes
Way
her
worse.
look like Sabrina Carpenter. Like, it's awful. It's so scary. So anyway, yeah, Zelda fucked me up. Zelda still fucks me up. It's very difficult for me to look at pictures of her. When it gets to that scene in the movie, I will fast forward to every, I can't even. And friend of the pod, former guest Ginger Minge, she and her husband, their favorite thing in the world is to get me with Zelda. And so we will be out at dinner in like a fancy place. And Ginger will be like, girl, I just got this new costume made for the show. You have to see. And she'll pull it up. She'll be like, okay, like, I know that blah, blah, blah. You got to see this, but don't tell anybody. I'm like, okay. And it's a fucking picture of Zelda.
I think we were at the melting pot one day and you
She's
screamed.
done that to me at Melting Pot. She did it to me at this fancy restaurant in Chicago. She did it to me at the Polynesian at Ohana.
Oh my God.
And like I fall for it every time because I'm like, oh, I want to see your pretty costumes. And I fucking fall for it like an idiot every time. So yeah, Pet Sematary was the main one. But surprisingly, there are two big things in my childhood / adolescent years that really, really fucked me up almost more than, because like Zelda, I would still like go to bed. I just couldn't look at her. One was, do you remember at the grocery store, they would have like, you'd have at the checkout aisle, there would be like magazines and stuff, but then there'd be like little books.
Yeah.
And they were like crossword puzzles or something. So they had a book called Ghost of the White House. And I asked my mom, I was like, can I get this? And so I got it. And they were talking about how Abraham Lincoln haunted the White House. And so that scared the shit out of me.
And that was just a book.
It was a book, but it was so scary. So there was that. And then Unsolved Mysteries fucked me up as a kid.
Oh, I mean, that's a giveaway.
Unsolved
Mysteries. I
Mysteries
didn't even think about that one.
Fucked me up. Especially there's one episode in particular where a guy, he was a felon and he was in prison. And they let him out of prison for the weekend to go to his grandfather's funeral. And apparently his grandfather was like this horrible, evil, racist, Nazi, like just horrible human with all of this demonic energy. So the felon went to the funeral. And when he was leaning over the open casket, he said he felt this weird energy, whatever. And so whatever demon was in his father or grandpa, whoever, transferred to him. And when he would get upset, he could make it rain inside. And at first I was like, this is bullshit. And they had like a priest, a police officer, all these people that were like, we were there.
And they all walked into a bar.
They're like, we were there when we saw him upset and it fucking rained in the house.
What if they just had a leak in the house?
No, it was like a rain. Like I'm talking, when you have a leak, you'll see like a puddle on the ceiling. This was like a rain, not a whole like monsoon.
Were the blessed rains from Africa.
But that episode, I had to sleep with I still to this day cannot sleep in pitch black and silence because of that episode. I'm 41.75 years old and I have to sleep with either my headset on or the TV on or something because I think about that man who made it rain inside
the house.
What about you? What fucked you up as a kid?
Can you guess? One is not necessarily
Finding Nemo.
Yes, Finding Nemo. I was
telling my mom
20 years old.
I was telling my mom on when was this Saturday about your fear of fish, and she was like, "I'm what? Steven's scared of fish?" I was like,
"I'm gonna have to explain this to her because I'm sure you discounted it. That's not fair. First of all, watching Jaws as a child.
Yeah, but Jaws is a shark, not a fish.
It swims. It's a fish. I don't give a fuck. And also, I was within walking distance to water.
Yeah. So
like
Jaws could have come out and
two
walked.
Small blocks
right
at the end of our street was a seawall.
Yeah.
Right? And then it just opened up to the bay and opened up to the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sharks were out there.
Yeah.
My sister also told me that sand sharks can go on the sand and bite people's legs off. I believe that for a long time. I know that now.
But I get how you would believe that because I probably would have too.
Yeah. And then I'll never forget, we had like these little islands that when the water would go down a little bit, like the little grassy knolls, that you could walk around it in the bay.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, we saw the biggest fucking fish. I want to say it was like 4 feet wide.
Oh, God.
Or tall, long, and like 2 or 3 feet. Giant sharp teeth. And I was like, I'm never going in the water again because this thing came from the water.
Wait, so it was like out, it was in the dry, like the tide had gone down.
It was dead. So it was on the little bank.
Ew.
And I was like, no.
That probably would have freaked me out too. Yeah.
Like,
Ew.
And going fishing. Like, fishing was a big thing to do.
Yeah.
I'm like, somebody get this thing off of the, get it off.
No.
It can't be me. Get it off.
I've only attempted to go fishing one time in my life. I've never been like fishing. We tried to do a deep sea fishing adventure as a family. And there had been a tropical storm the day before. We didn't even get to fish because literally everybody on the boat, including me, everyone was throwing up because it was so...
I could imagine.
And like, I don't get seasick. I'm fine on boats. But this was so...
Hurricane weather.
It was probably like top 3, one of the worst things I've ever experienced in my life. Like, it was horrible. And I was like, I never want to do this again. And they had the fucking nerve... So going out was terrible because the storm had been, and it's like, y'all knew there was a fucking storm.
Yeah.
And like people were falling. It was a mess. So then coming back, we had calm waters, and they had the nerve to walk around with a fucking tip bucket. I was
I
like,
would've
a
been-
tip for what? I'll where I remember and listen, I'm an over tipper. Like if I'm at Starbucks and I see a thing, I will always tip. But I remember looking at that guy and I was like, are you out of your fucking mind? Like y'all went out willingly. You could have canceled this shit. You knew it was coming. And you still took us out. They're like, oh, we didn't think it'd be that. Whatever.
Well,
So that's the only time. And like
now we're all dehydrated.
I have no desire to go fishing. Like I'm good.
No, because when I think of deep sea fishing, first of all, you're on one boat away from the land.
Correct.
Undiscovered things underneath the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Those fish are strong.
Yeah.
You get like a swordfish pointy thing. I forget what they're called.
Swordfish, yeah.
Those things will just pull you down.
Yeah, no.
And then what? And then what?
Nope. I will. Nope. I love eating fish, but I will not catch them.
I won't eat them. I will take them and slam them into the ground to kill them.
I don't like salmon though. Salmon is too fishy, even for me. Like I can't do salmon.
The fish is too fishy.
It is because most.
I know the beef I have sometimes is too beefy.
No, because like other fish, like if you get like, you know, I'm trying to think
like amberjack. It tastes more like meat.
But other fish, it's delicious because it soaks up the flavors and it's really good and fulfilling. But salmon just tastes like seawater. I don't like salmon. It's gross.
And another movie that fucked me up.
Yes.
Arachnophobia.
Oh my God. I forgot. I've seen that quite a few times.
Don't think I slept. That's probably why my sleep disorder is now a thing. But I just remember having like nightmare after nightmare after nightmare about all the spiders. Like there was one that like my house was just covered in spiders and I had to like walk through it to get to the phone. And my sister was sitting in the kitchen and she was covered in spiders.
Ew.
And I was like, ugh.
Arachnophobia never freaked me out. I thought it was funny.
So, but here's the thing is that those places like the old house or whatnot in the barn. My grandparents lived in the sticks. There were things like that out there.
Oh yeah.
They found what is that? Black Widow?
Black Widow, yeah.
They found them under their house.
Yeah. I went to high school.
No!
I went to high school with a kid he was like a football player, super popular, and he got bit by a brown recluse, and he still walks to this day with a cane because like it bit him while he was sleeping and he couldn't swat it off. They said if he had been able to swat it off, he would have been fine. But because it bit him and like stayed on his knee, the venom destroyed all the tissue in his knee.
I didn't need to sleep tonight. It's
and
fine.
Granted, when this happened to him, we were in 8th grade. So that's 13, 14. And now we're 40s and he still walks with a cane to this day because that one fucking spider. Football career over.
Now I have to... I've had...
he came back to school and we were like, what the fuck happened to you? Because he's like limping and he's like, I was bit by a spider.
We had in this house years ago,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I think it was like a huntsman.
Oh God, yeah.
A big ass one.
Mm-hmm.
And of course I freeze up and I'm like, oh fuck no.
Yeah.
And then I start like throwing things to like kill it. And I'm having the dog in one arm. I'm like, you're not going near this thing.
God, no.
And then I start spraying it with chemicals. And this motherfucker
they're
all
like,
the way down this hallway. I was screaming.
So, and like if I see a daddy long legs, I'll be
Those are
like,
fine.
yeah, I'm like, you can live. That's
but
fine.
you know, those are super poisonous, but their mouths are too small to bite you.
Oh. But yeah, if I see a daddy long legs, I'm like, pop off, do your thing. But any other spider, I'm like, if it's a spider that's got a butt and has color on that butt, no.
Burn the house down.
Nope.
I'm nervous about the place I'm moving into. Like, I did not do a spider check. Like, what happens if I get there and they're full of spiders?
And I was traumatized as a kid because when we lived in Connecticut, in the basement, there was like we were doing some stupid shit, like playing like spies or something. And like something, like a toy went into a corner. And so I saw a spider had built a web and it had the little eggs in it. And granted, I'm probably like 6 or 7 years old. I'm like kindergarten, 1st grade. And I didn't know what the fuck those were. I was like, oh, gotta smash it because it's a spider web. Bitch, I had...
She learned something that day. It wasn't her ABCs, but
nope.
It was not to smash spider
I hit those
eggs.
eggs with that broom, and it was like 1,000 little tiny spiders went everywhere. And I was just like, "Ma!" And anytime I see spider eggs somewhere, which doesn't happen that often, but every now and then on the patio, if we haven't swept out there, I'll see like a couple in the corner, and I'm like, nope, I'm getting the vacuum. I will suck it up, and then I will dump out the vacuum because I am not.
I would first probably coat it in hairspray.
Oh yeah.
Make it all sticky.
And people like get pissed when you kill spiders. Like
I know they're supposed to help the environment, but I'm sorry they make me freeze. What's more important, that spider's life
Yeah.
or my mental health?
Yeah.
Don't answer that.
Yeah.
I know the answer. It's not me.
Well, it's like we were at Scott's house and there was a bee in the pool. And I was like, oh, I got to kill it. Don't kill the bee, Heather.
Okay.
And that bitch stung me in the pool. I tried to save it and it stung me. It stung me in the pool. And I was trying to be a bee advocate and a bee ally. And that little bitch.
Q.
Q.
No. But bees.
Q.
Oh, my God. Stop.
Stand by.
That's right.
Yeah, go away.
But bees help repopulate plants in the earth and shit.
Whatever. That little bitch stung me in the pool. I was so pissed.
All right. I say.
That shit hurt too.
Let's take it to the face place. Let's see what the people are
Oh,
saying.
yeah. You did a status and I did a status. We asked people about what is it? Best
Their
Halloween?
favorites and their worst.
Yes.
The ones they hated the most.
I feel like people probably responded more to you because I did mine late. Yeah, I have not a one.
Okay. Then go to mine because
We're
my
gonna delete.
devices are in use.
Okay, so let me see what people said on yours. Okay. So so our friend Wes, hey Wes, he said Hocus Pocus is a must watch. It's my go-to background noise on TV during October, and Halloween Town sheerly for nostalgia.
Okay. I
Yeah.
get behind that. Hocus Pocus, I still love.
Yeah, me too.
And I know the second one didn't get a lot of love, but I still love it.
I've never seen Halloween Town. I know of it, but I've never seen it.
Oh, it's been a long time since I've seen it.
Okay, so then somebody named Tom said their favorite is The Midnight Hour.
Never heard of this
Me
one.
neither. And the worst is Hocus Pocus.
Okay, we're going to fight, Tom.
Hocus Pocus, you got to take it at face value. It's not a serious. That's the thing. It's not a serious. It'd be different if they were like, this is a horror movie.
Right.
It's
a Disney Halloween TV
take it for face
movie.
value. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Chuck Boscarino, who I love, he said best Halloween, worst Hocus Pocus.
Okay. People. I'm going to start unfriending people.
Okay. Stephanie said the best is Trick or Treat and the worst is Jason X.
Okay, I never watched Jason X. I didn't want to. That's the one they went out into space. And I was like,
Is that the space one? Yeah.
God,
Yeah, I
let's
can't.
not.
Mm-hmm.
We're really running out of ideas, people.
Yeah. Okay. I've never seen Trick or Treat. That's a little pumpkin head guy.
It's the little guy who's like a burlap.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sam, I think it's his name.
Sam, yes. Mari said her favorite is Daffy Duck's Quackbusters. I've never
You
seen
stupid bitch.
it. Is that on your list?
No, I have no idea. But now I'm gonna have to look
Daffy
it
Duck
up.
Quackbuster. Okay. Cassie said her favorite is Halloween Town and her worst is Coraline. I've never seen
Coraline is
That's the buttons.
It is the buttons,
Yeah.
and it's claymation. You wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
But the mom was just definitely creepy. The other mother, I should say.
Oh, the other mother. Yeah.
Like it was interesting. It was cute, but
Yeah. And then our friend Douglas said, how do you beat Rocky Horror? And I'm about to make a confession that's probably going to get me excited.
You've
from the
never
internet.
seen
I've never
Rocky
seen
Horror.
Rocky Horror Picture Show. I've seen the actual like stage version multiple times.
You've been in the
I've
stage
been in the
version
stage version.
multiple
So I've
times.
seen it on stage, but I've never watched the movie. Just 'cause, like, I'm good.
So I've seen the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I have. I've seen it in high school. I've seen it a million times.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. It's
Yeah.
camp.
Yeah.
It's it. I freaking love the stage version.
Me too. I've never seen a bad
Love
stage. I've seen
the
quite a
stage
few.
version.
And it's one of those shows, like, you have to be really fucking bad to fuck up Rocky Horror. Because I feel like even if you can't really sing, you
Hell.
can, like, work around it, yeah.
I played Rocky. The first time I
got
played
the
Rocky.
sword of Damocles over my head. Okay, so let's take a little side road for a second.
Where are we going?
What is your favorite Halloween song?
There's not a whole lot of Halloween
No, there's like
songs.
20.
Oh God. I would have to say right now,
Yeah.
The Witch's Road from Agatha
Oh,
All Along.
I haven't watched it because I wanted to finish and then I'm gonna binge it.
Oh my God, no! You need
I
to
just watched a video of these 3 girls who were like in high school and they were in their choir hallway. And so I got very into it and I was like, what the fuck is this song? Is this Shakespeare? It's beautiful. And it was the Witch's Road song. And it was so,
It is
their harmony
so
was so
good.
pretty.
The my adults danced to it this past weekend in the student showcase.
Oh,
Yeah.
Halloween songs. I know it's cliche, but I love
Monster
Thriller.
Mash?
And
Oh.
here's why I love Thriller.
Okay.
Here's why I love Thriller. It's not the song itself sung by Michael Jackson. It's Vincent Price's part. It's so good. Darkness falls. Creatures crawl in search of blood to terrorize y'all's neighborhood. The funk of 40,000. It's just so, that part of the song is just so.
So the music video used to creep me out as a kid.
Oh, me too.
Like bad. And it wasn't ever the zombies. It was his
It was Michael
transformation.
Jackson
Yeah.
when he turned into the little.
Yeah. And then at the very end, his eyes, I'm like, bitch, he's still a werewolf. But can I tell you, I never want to hear that song ever again.
No, same.
Because how many times have I had to do the Thriller dance in my career?
There was one time not long ago that my edible fucking whooped my ass, and I looked at Mama and I was like, she looks like Michael Jackson from Thriller, because she had the whiskers and her eyes had the little slant, and I was looking at her and I was like, bitch, you look like Michael Jackson in Thriller.
Just say
I don't
no
like it.
to drugs.
That sounds like a witch's laugh.
Wow.
But there was a list that came out. I think it was like Billboard's like top 20 Halloween songs, and like Thriller was like number 15.
What was number 1?
I think it was like Monster Mash.
Let's do the mash. It was the monster mash.
The
It was a
Monster
smash.
Hey,
It was a graveyard
they
smash.
did the mash.
Okay, I'm gonna one up your question with a different question
Yes.
off cycle.
Okay.
What was your favorite childhood Halloween costume that you wore?
In 4th grade, I was a Radio City Music Hall Rockette. Made my own. Well, my mom helped me make a costume. I had a little glitter cowboy hat and a leotard and boots, and I had a little sash that said Rockette. So that was my favorite. Because I always did I think I was like Lisa Simpson and did some really stupid costumes. But
Did you
the
paint
Rockette
yourself
was my
yellow?
favorite. What?
Did you
No,
paint-
no, it was
oh.
the mask. It was the plastic mask.
Oh, those. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
So
had a casting
that
like
was my favorite childhood costume. Yeah, 4th grade Rockette. I don't even remember. Besides Lisa Simpson, I could not tell you. I know I was a witch at one point when I was little, but otherwise I really don't. I think it might have been Minnie Mouse at one point.
I was Mickey Mouse.
But the
First
Rockette,
grade.
the Rockette was definitely my favorite because it was I was a baby. I was like 3rd or 4th grade, and I was like, I want to be a Rockette for Christmas, and so we found Christmas, good Lord, Halloween. So that was probably my favorite one, I would say.
My mom made me a legit Donatello costume. I'm talking about a full shell made out of fabric. It was stuffed. It was legit.
Oh shit!
I'll have to find a picture for you and show it to you. But
Oh
that
my
was my
God.
favorite. I was also a vampire a lot.
Okay.
Because when I was young, people said I looked like Eddie Munster because I had a little widow's peak.
I feel like. Did I see? No, I swear I feel like I've seen a picture of you as a kid as a vampire, but I could be making that up.
You might have.
Maybe.
You
I don't
might have.
know.
Because we kept all the costumes that we always had.
Yeah.
And I would go down up in the attic every year and pull things down and be like, what are we doing for Halloween?
Mhm.
And then one time when I was a baby, I was a vampire.
Oh.
And then I was like, oh, look how cute it was. I put it on the dog. My parents had a wiener dog. And so I have a
Aw.
picture of him running with the cape flying.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
What's been your favorite adult Halloween costume?
Oh, God. See, because what do they count for work or not for work? Or, you know which one I'm most proud of and people hated me for?
What?
Okay, so Infinity War came out,
Yeah.
right? Snap.
Yeah.
Spider-Man went away.
Yeah. Were you faded Spider-Man?
Huh?
Were you fading away Spider-Man?
No,
Oh.
I was better. I made up my own thing. I got a white jumpsuit. I'm pretty sure it's in there. And it was Thanos' Black Order custodial services. And I basically made a vacuum cleaner.
Oh my God.
And it had scraps of Spider-Man costume in it with a bunch of dust. And I have a picture
Oh my
of me at
God.
Parliament House with one of the Spider-Mans going, and it had one of those effects in it that you can make it wavy, so it looks like I'm sucking them up into it.
Oh my God.
So then we were going to, we were getting ready for the costume contest, and Darcel was talking. She goes, she has the microphone, and she's like, just tell him what you are, Steven. And she hands me the microphone, and I said, hey, who's seen Infinity War? And I was like, yeah! And then I explained it,
Uh-huh.
and then you just hear this audible, oh! And you hear,
Boo.
that's fucked up!
Trying to think adult costume. The last time I went downtown, which was years ago, I was Medusa, and I really loved that costume. But but there was I did Jigsaw a couple years ago. I was like a Mortal Kombat person. Like I just like found this thing and I was like, yay, Mortal
Didn't you
Kombat.
do Star Trek one year?
Yes, I've been Uhura 2 years in a row. I did Uhura. I'm trying to, there was one I had in my head and I can't. In like 2006, 2007, I was Angelina Jolie. And I got
From
this
Tomb
wig.
Raider, or?
No, like legit celebrity Angelina
Oh.
Jolie. So I had the wig. Amanda did my tattoos, and I got like 17 baby dolls and just like carried them. We went to like a bunch of places, and I just carried all these babies
course you
everywhere.
Of course you did.
It was so, because I was super poor. I had just come back from LA, and I was like, I have to find a Halloween costume. So I got a black dress and a wig, and just had all the babies. And I was like, I'm Angelina Jolie.
That's amazing. I've done a lot of costumes for a lot of different things. Like I love a good themed party.
Yeah.
Like there was a prom theme party that was under the sea. And of
Oh.
course I couldn't just go normal. And that's around the BP spill. So I dressed up as Aquaman. So I had like the green tights, the
Oh, God, do you
underwear.
have oil on
I
you?
wore my flippers, my actual
Yeah.
snorkeling flippers. And I covered myself in black paint.
Of course you did.
And I put BP insignia all over me.
Although I don't go to Halloween parties and I don't go out, but I think I really want my next Halloween costume to be a gold prospector. I've been talking about that for a really long time. I really want to be a gold prospector for Halloween.
I can make that
Like
happen.
gold in
There's
the
gold in
mails.
this here.
And I have
So-
like a beard.
When I was working for Parliament House, my buddy Tony, we'd always have big Halloween parties, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I can stay for like an hour. And meanwhile, I'd be making like a lot of friends' costumes
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff. My friend Anthony wanted to go as the Cheshire Cat as Beyonce with one of her things, so I made a whole outfit,
Oh shit.
bedazzled. And then that was the year that was the Alice in Wonderland theme.
Okay.
And I was like, all right, well, nobody's being the dormouse.
Yeah.
I made a wearable teapot
Oh shit.
and had like little legs out and a
Yeah.
little thing and a hat and everything. I made a whole costume in like 2 hours
Damn.
to wear for an hour. And then there was one that was princesses but superheroes,
Uh-huh.
and everybody had to do it. So again, I made my friends Belle,
Oh
and
yeah.
I was like, well, I'm gonna be Cindy. And I made a quick change costume from rags to a
Oh my
blue
God.
superhero outfit. And again, I spent an hour on that, and I
Yeah.
got to wear it for an hour. But I digress.
So that was Halloween.
That was Halloween. Happy Halloween.
This is Halloween. Everybody make a
This
scene.
Ah!
Suck a dick and everything.
That was exactly the words from
There's
the
a-
movie she loves.
There's a video with Vanjie online. It was from one of the World of Wonder behind the scenes shows, and she was singing this. This is Halloween. Everybody make a scene. Suck my dick.
Oh my God.
That's my favorite version.
With that being said,
Yeah.
follow us on the show Schmeeds. Heather and
Please.
Steven get into YouTube, Instagram,
All of it.
Gmail,
AOL.
Christian Mingle.
CompuServe.
CompuServe. Oh my God. So if you have a request for something else to talk about, just email us, tell us, or
Yeah.
tag us, or write to us. and
All of the above.
till
Carrier
then-
pigeon.
Yes, and especially if it's a
Dart.
friendly pigeon. Don't dart me. Don't dart me. Please don't dart me.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Ooh.
Till next time.